Well, we're back for another live Twinbill episode, but the Yankees aren't back. No, they haven't been back since the no-hitter. That's very unfortunate. Actually, since Nasty Nestor Night, if you want to really go back even further. Welcome back to Twinbill Podcast, everybody. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell. Memberships are now available, so those are really cool. You get to use the emotes, you get to get a lot of stuff, as well as, you know, being a part of NYY News TV and all that stuff, Discord, all that stuff. Pete and just generally the company has done a great job with that. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, so will likely be up once this episode is over, thanks to me. But the Yankees, man, they've lost the last 2 series.
They've lost the last 7 out of 8.
Okay, so there's that. Luca gives you that stat, and I'm not happy, but I'm going to let Luca have the floor.
You seem very blasé about it, Alex. I don't like that. I want you to be passionate that the Yankees are fucking losing. How disgraceful this organization is. You can't be so blasé about it. You'll sound like the rest of this goddamn fan base.
I
want you to show passion. I want you to show fucking rage.
I will show fucking rage. I'm just blasé about it because I'm like, wow, okay. What? People react differently, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I'm not mad about it.
No. It's not how it is. It's not how it is.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to everybody in chat, the members, the emotes.
Just remember, everybody, I was on with Pete for game season when we hit 10K, and I was also on the record books for likes. So suck it, Alex.
I see we're using the raw spaghetti emote. We had it today. Of course, this fucking phone's going off. I'm gonna talk over it as best as possible. But we had the raw spaghetti today. If many of you don't know, Pete called the Higgy home run. I said, listen, if he hits a homer, raw spaghetti, and we had it. After how many months? But it just didn't work to anything because we still fucking lost. And once we gave up the lead, it was the end of the game. Luca, if you want to speak on it briefly.
Yeah, it's just another wasted series just because because nobody's holding these players, nobody's holding these guys accountable. I mean, we go back to it, well, we've been saying all off season. And what's the general point of the Yankees? I think we're starting to revert back to the mean, as Donald would call it. Our buddy Donald, he would quote that. We're reverting back to the mean. The Astros essentially put us in our place about 2 months ago. And this is where we are, folks. We were supposed to be like this at the beginning of the year. Listen, do I want the Yankees to do better? Absolutely. But it is what it is. The Yankees have reverted back to where they should be. The Yankees are not calling up players, which is ridiculous and beyond ludicrous because they've clearly lost the plot.
Yeah. Be sure to get those likes of everybody. We got 40 in here, got 20 likes. Bring it up. So the Yankees right now, in terms of the standings, they're obviously still first, 10-game lead. But when you look at the league, when you look at overall, the Astros are better than them by a half a game. And then the Mets are better than them. And the Dodgers are better than them. As of right now, the Yankees are below the Dodgers overall by 6.5 games. And the Yankees, just a short while ago, had the best record in the MLB. And once again, Gumball's right. Gumball 3D. Remember those 1998 comps?
Thank you, Jake Montgomery, you fucking idiot.
Huh?
I said Jake Montgomery, you fucking idiot. That's what he started. He was the one who started the comps.
I don't know who Jake Montgomery is.
Come on, Alex. Jake Montgomery, the guy with the Derek Jeter background. He says he has ESPN 97.8 98.7 ESPN producer and board operations in his background.
Got it.
That's who started it.
I'm not happy about that, but shouts to Killer Jones.
It's fucking stupid. That's what it is.
That's why I never got, like, once again, like, teams go through rough stretches. That happens, but after, what is it? Okay, let's pull up some records here. We got bookmarks. So The Yankees have played Houston twice, the Mets
Okay.
twice, Seattle 3 times, St. Louis 3 times, Seattle 3 times since the All-Star break. Guess the record. This is 13 games, by the way.
You said the Astros for a doubleheader. You said the Mets for 2. You said Seattle for 3. The Cardinals for. All right, I'm actually gonna do the math on this one.
There's 13 games, so well,
Okay.
no, just take a guess at the record. 13 games.
2-11.
You are correct.
I swear I didn't do the math on that. I just took a shot in the dark.
Yeah, that's what it is, and it's just so fucking depressing because even after the trade deadline, and we had our views and grades where we didn't really necessarily like the Bader trade. We love the Montas trade, love the Benintendi trade, and then this team is playing like this. The Seattle Mariners, yes, they're second, but they're only what? 8 games above 500.
Exactly.
You're not bringing up Florial. You got LeCastro up instead, who's batting 194. And Duhar. Everybody's, shitting on him. Oh, well, this, that. Yes, he has not performed. But with that being said, where the consistent at-bats since 2018? Where are they? He started heating up before he got sent down in 21. He was heating up a little bit this year before he got sent down again. You still got IKF, who's terrible. I don't care what that idiot Brandon Cunty says, Cuddy, whatever the hell his name is. That is a pathetic article. I didn't read it. Pete read it.
It's not professional art. It's not a professional piece of journalism, Alex. When you go out there in the article and say, IKF is not being replaced, Oswald Peraza is not coming up, getting over it. Instead, and not explaining the reasoning why behind your point, that's not professional journalism. That belongs on Barstool. That belongs on fucking satire. That belongs on satire. That's for jokes. You're not a professional. Brendan Cunty, if you are listening now, you're not a professional journalist. You are not. So stop convincing us you are, because you're not. You write piece of shit articles to try to sway the fan base that you're right. Instead, you have a fucking IQ of 0, maybe -1. Your brain is smaller than a fucking piece of rice. Grow up. Honestly, it's not even this. It's the articles with the Garrett Cole, Jose Altuve stuff. Grow up, dude. Go write for somebody else. Go write for a different ball club, because you're so soft like the rest of this fan base who endures your bullshit.
No, I agree with you, Luca. I agree.
And you know what? I'm sorry, I got to go on a rant here. In terms of people being deluded as fuck like he is, and the Lindsay Adlers, the Brian Hoax, the Sweeney Murtys, all that. You know what? I'm glad you all came to NY News TV for a reason, because we tell it like it is. Alex does it. I do it. Pete does it. NYYST does it. Francis does it. Everybody on this team does it. This team does not care about winning. This organization does not care about winning. You know who's not going to tell you this? Joe Randazzo on Twitter is not going to tell you this. Ryan Garcia on Fireside Yankees, that piece of shit organization, is not going to tell you that. Michael Kay is not going to tell you that. Cameron Maben is not going to tell you that. Carlos Beltran is not going to tell you that. John Flaherty is not going to tell you that. Let me think here. David Cohn's not going to tell you that. Jimmy O'Brien's not going to fucking tell you that. Jake Storiali's not going to tell you that. And neither is Joey fucking Solano. They're all they want you to be fucking deluded. They want you to believe a certain thing or a certain belief, because they want fucking money. And they want the organization to get away with all their bullshit. We are here. We are doing this for free, and we're doing this for you guys. And I'm proud all of you came, and I'm proud we are at 10K. Keep this shit going, because nobody should want to watch those other assholes on here. They just want fucking money.
Wow. Okay. That was a pretty constructive, right out there rant, and you're coming for a lot of people's heads, and you as you used to say, you hit the nail on the head right there. A lot of people won't tell the truth, and people saying, well, this guy and this guy, whatever, that's once people go back to winning, when the Yankees go back to winning.
Yes, Joe, they are cocksuckers.
Once they go back to winning, nobody's going to see the issues with this team.
Never.
Oh, well.
That's what they want you to believe. They want you to see through. We see through all the bull. We saw through I think we can see through all the. How do I put this lightly? We don't see through the bullshit. We see what the bullshit is. Nobody else will tell you that. Nobody. They're all cocksuckers. That's why.
And everybody's now coming on the IKF train, which is
Dan Rourke will not tell you that because he's a deluded fuck tomboy.
Okay. But everybody's on the IKF.
They're all deluded. They've lost the plot. I had to bring that out there.
Okay. IKF, everybody's on the jump. Okay, IKF train, this, that, and the other thing. Whatever. Okay. But nobody's talking about how, there's also the Josh Donaldson trade. There's not putting Benintendi at the top of the order. There's a lot of shit. And now it's come to more of a point that the fan base is starting to talk about, Marinaccio's not up here. When we were winning, these issues should have been discussed as well. But now that we're losing, everybody's back on the train. When we've been talking about this shit from day one. And let's just admit it. I've admitted it for months. This team was over the heads in the first half. We know that. And they've been under 500 since the June 23rd game-ish. Like June 23rd, 24th, 25th, whatever you want to go about it. And people will still expect, this team has the tools to make the World Series. When, where, when, how? With the tools now. Ideally, if you're dealing with another organization like the Braves or the Dodgers, they call up their top prospects or they trade their top prospects. It's one or the other. And starting pitching isn't necessarily the worst thing right now because you got Herman, he's pitching well. Castillo, Cole, not Castillo. I was going to bring up the Castillo thing. Of course, another gaffe on my part. But you still have Tyon, who didn't pitch well. Did he give up the 4 runs, all of them, against Seattle?
I think he did. I'm going to do the box score check.
Okay, Luca's going to do the research for me. Luca over here. But with that being said, they got rid of Monty, and I'm sorry I'm going in 7 different fucking directions, but the incompetency is just so bad right now. And, everybody's going to say, they're going to beat up on the Red Sox. They're going to beat up on the Red Sox,
I'm not so sure.
But
Tyon gave up 3 runs. Clay Holmes gave up an extra run.
Pete Mancuso says, you don't get a trophy for having the best farm system. No, you don't. No. If you put it to test, if you bring up these guys and trade some guys, then it's worth it. But keeping in the minor leagues, it's just not going to work out. But Luca, what did Cashman say on IKF? Didn't Bobby Malone have a tweet or someone had a tweet?
He said he's been good defensively, and he basically, I don't have the full quote, but he basically doubled down on IKF. I mean, you couldn't find any more of a GM or an executive, a person now across any major sport that doubles down on their mistakes like Brian Cashman does. I'm sorry. Aaron Hicks, IKF, Josh Donaldson, all these different guys and moves he just sticks with because if he gets rid of him, that means he admits failure.
And that's something he doesn't want to do because of his ego.
Yeah, he has a huge ego.
What do you mean Mets 2128? Wouldn't mind if I say something on the cast? What do you mean by cast? Like us or the broadcast we did earlier or the Yankees telecast? Like depends on what you mean, of course. But keep
Please
the
open
questions.
Thoughts.
Yeah. Keep the questions coming, you guys. But Luca, if you want to go into maybe actual subjects, either talk about the Seattle series first, Carpenter.
Well, first of all, I think it was revealed today that Matt Carpenter will not be having surgery on his fractured foot. I think it was his right foot, actually. Might have been his left. I don't know. But timetable is 6 to 8 weeks without injury. I'm sorry, not without injury, without surgery. So that leaves you probably till October. He still has belief that he'll play this year. Do you think he returns in the playoffs? A, B, it goes with the same point. Do you think the Yankees will actually be in the playoffs by the time he returns? I know, obviously, know it's tough to gauge. This is obviously August.
Yeah, no, I see your point. And the thing is this. There's two ways of looking at it, but it ultimately comes to one result. Even if he comes back, the Yankees will still trot out Josh Donaldson and IKF. They have no flexibility at shortstop, which is a huge problem. Marwin, he's a bench player. He had a great spring training. Came in as a bench player, had a little hot streak there. The Yankees really didn't play him, died down. So let's just say you bring Carpenter here. And then Rizzo could be a DH. That's something you could explore because of his back issues. LeMahieu could play, second or whatever the case is, because here's the thing as well. Carpenter or not, Gleyber Torres has had an abysmal fucking second half. He's been trash.
There's no question.
Head case, all
2021 all over again.
2021. Luca, look up his stats in the last few games.
All right. The Yankees should have shipped him off the deadline 100%. For
Mets,
starter.
21-28 says, what has happened to the Yankees? I mean, did they let their hot start go to their heads? I mean, the Mets are now the number 2 team in the league. Yeah. No, I'll answer the question. Yeah, no, I'll answer. Yeah, they let the shit get to their heads. That's what they did.
They were playing games
above their talent level. And then now we're finally starting to see that they're an above average team.
They've reverted back
but
to
the thing is, they've built up such a lead in the AL East that nobody's catching them. Toronto's terrible. Tampa Bay is terrible. Red Sox are terrible. Orioles are terrible.
Well, the Orioles aren't terrible.
To the Yankees.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's just they can beat us. It's just not going to be the Yankees are still going to win the division. If they don't, I will go on a rant of all time. But they are winning this division. If they didn't have that start to the season, then we would be sitting here talking about a possible 2-game lead and how they could possibly give it up. And let me say this.
First of all, you also forgot a key thing. If Aaron Judge is not having a Ruthian Manta-like season, the Yankees are a wild card team. If that.
Trevino's made a difference, but you're right. Judge has had the season of a lifetime. He may even be better than his rookie year. And he's uplifting the team. There were multiple contributors in 2017. We know that. But the fact that, once again, he's still not signed, it's pushing me more and more to the limit of, well, I don't think he's going to get signed to an extension. Because what is he doing in press conferences, Luca?
What's who doing?
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge is speaking in the past tense.
That's it, guys. Speaking in the past tense. That's our star because we can't get him locked up. Nope. And I hate this narrative. Because I've seen it on radio shows and talk shows and shit like that. That, IKF wasn't losing us games. Oh, Joey Gallo wasn't losing us games. They're still bad, okay? They're still bad. Why are we bringing up that point? Of course they're not costing games. We wouldn't have 10 wins plus more if Joey Gallo was not a Yankee or if IKF was not a Yankee. But it's just sad to see, they didn't trade Peraza. They could have maybe saved a couple of pitchers in that Oakland trade with Montas.
Right.
They could have maybe kept JP Sears because he would have been good. Or they could have kept Waldachuk. I don't know. But Peraza was what? Number 2, number 3 prospect.
Right.
And they didn't trade him. But now that IKF is all of a sudden, he's trash. He's been trash the entire season. Peraza's kept. What are you doing with him? What are you doing with Peraza? Anthony Volpe, I think the whole service time thing is much bullshit to me.
It is.
The 6 years will start right now. Cares? Who cares? Why is it about service time and not about quality of play? Any other organization would eat the money with IKF or do whatever with Donaldson as well. The Dodgers, I think, did that with a couple of players. The Red Sox, there's a few. Mets with Robbie Cano, they ate the money. So why can't we? Asking all of y'all nicely, why can't we? Keep asking questions in the chat, guys. Luca, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just another one of those scenarios where the Yankees are basically it's not a meritocracy. It's not about merit. It's about what we invested in you. We took on the contract of Josh Donaldson. We took on IKF. IKF wasn't really much of a he wasn't a bad contract, but we got him as an asset, and that we freed up the money for Carlos Correa to go to Minnesota. And Aaron Hicks, we signed him to a 7-year, $70 million contract. Joey Gallo, we had Texas take on his contract last season, and he was still getting valuable reps, valuable game time this season when he wasn't supposed to. He should have been traded long earlier. It's all up to the Yankees, and I hope people realize this. It's all about what they invested in their players. It's not about meritocracy. It's not about who actually should get playing time. It's not what you see with your eyes. It's about all of what they put into a certain player.
Absolutely correct. Joe says, I'm positive the Yankees will eat the money off Hicks this offseason. I think they'll keep Donaldson until he expires, though. Then don't expect any, good play. Everybody complains. It's funny, until I started, because I didn't watch the first Seattle game much, but the second game and then the third game, he sucks now. And he argues every single strike call that's called on him. It's sad. Oh boy, we got Li talking. He said Glaber is not making the infield crowded. It's not IKF for the worthless piece of shit and Josh Donaldson. I think he's trying to say that those two guys rather than Glaber's making the infield crowded. No, I'm gonna have to disagree, my man. I mean, Donaldson, not really. As bad as he is, who else are you gonna play at third base? DJ LeMahieu, mostly a second base, first base anyway.
It's not an everyday position for him.
Yeah. Shortstop IKF, not really making the infield crowded. He's terrible. But who else
He's
you got?
Another one who should be playing third base.
Should be playing third base. Gleyber Torres is kind of clogging the thing a little bit to allow IKF and Josh Donaldson a little bit. Now, this is also on the Yankees. This is also on the Yankees for not getting proper depth at shortstop, not getting a backup third baseman, even though LeMahieu can be that. But you're literally splitting time between DJ, who's had a good season. Everybody forgets that. He's hitting 286 right now. Remember what he was hitting in the first half last year as well? And now he's going to share that with Gleyber. Gleyber has been a head case. He had a great first half. I will praise that, but we are in the fucking now. He's terrible. They should have traded him at the deadline when the fucking
stock is only falling.
Swinging at pitches. He is not a smart baseball player. I don't care what anyone says. He ain't fucking smart. Okay? There's nothing to do with, mental issues or anything. No. You don't swing 2-0. You don't swing pitches in the other's batter's box. Okay? You don't do that. Gleyber does that. Gleyber does that, and it costs his teams at-bats. Every time he strikes out, you're looking, well, that's a terrible at-bat. It's not fighting off pitches like Matt Carpenter would. Marwin Gonzalez also did that a few times. What was it that night we were at the game, Luca? Marwin Gonzalez had like 13 pitch at-bat. Gleyber Torres does not do that. They should have traded him. They should have dealt him. I had no expectations. He wowed us in the first half. But the problem is with this Yankee team, and I will continue to say it because they have not shown me otherwise in terms of a winning formality. They are not tough on their players.
No.
We got rid of Gary Sanchez because he was a head case because he wasn't productive. Gleyber Torres has been productive this season, more than Gary Sanchez, defensively as well. But when you come to the plate, when this offense, because of the way they built the team, he's batting third, he's batting fourth, he's batting fifth, maybe even sixth. And you're expecting, we're expecting Gleyber Torres to come up in that spot and actually do something. It just hasn't been happening. Sorry, but they need to cut the strings this offseason. If you don't want to keep DJ for the long term, call Peraza, do something. We have tons of versatile infielders in the system, and also we have people in free agency. Gleyber Torres should not be a Yankee after this year. It's terrible. It is awful because there are a lot of other players in the minor leagues who would fight their ass off. All Gleyber Torres has been for most of his Yankee career, pretty much in the latter half, is a head case. Luca?
Damn, Alex in with the rant. But I can't say I blame you, Alex. We got to cut ties with him after this year. The Yankees should have traded him, especially after the last 2 years, 2020 and 2021. The Yankees should have said, you know what? Okay, he's played well in the first half. Now his stock is at his all-time high at this very moment. It can't get any higher. It can only go lower. Let's trade him for a starting pitcher. Pablo Lopez would have been ideal. And we had our qualms about not getting another pitcher at the deadline. Pablo Lopez would have a trade for Torres for Lopez, not straight up, but obviously going to add prospects to it, would have been perfect. Rodon, Lopez, any of those guys I would take right now.
Yeah, Anthony says, facts, Alex, you should not be a Yankee in 2023. A lot of people agree with my rant. It's your boy says it took them so long to get rid of players who they try so hard to hang on, like Sanchez, etc. They missed out big time. The thing with the absolute thing with the Nationals is they did not value Volpe as this top guy.
No, not again. It's been said that the Yankees overrate the prospects a shit ton. It only continues when you hear that the Nationals aren't as high in Volpe.
And it's mistreatment. So you don't know how to take it. It's either, well, this guy could be a star, but he's being shut in the minor leagues, or he's been in the minor leagues and guess what? He's trash. He comes up to the big leagues, he's trash. So I see that Joe and Li are arguing about who's going to turn it on in the playoffs, JD or Glaber. You know what? I'm going to ask you that, Luca. If you trusted a bat out of those two to turn it on in the playoffs, who is it? 36-year-old Josh Donaldson or head case in Glaber Torres?
That's a really good question because I really have confidence in neither.
I'm going to check. I'm not going to check Donaldson's stats, but I'm going to check Torres' stats, maybe last postseason, even before that. Advanced batting, no. So, okay, last year, he was 0 for 4 in the Red Sox game. On the Tampa series, which they lost, he had a .313 batting average and a total of 16 ABs. Before that,
I don't think you really should count the Tampa series because that meant absolutely nothing. It was played in front of.
Okay, which one do you want me to count then?
Well, I don't know. I'm just going to think.
All right. 2018 Boston series ALDS, they lost 308. 2019 417, that was against the Twins. ALDS, yep. Houston ALCS 280, and then you go into, of course, the Cleveland, which was like 714. So whether you want to count it or not, because it's a COVID season.
So you bring up, it's an interesting point, and because it's different. Because Gleyber Torres, maybe he knows this is his like last year's Yankee. Maybe he wants to prove something, but he already proved. I don't trust Gleyber's floppy play. I don't trust Donaldson's either. So that's a really tough question. I'll try to get you an answer.
So they're still arguing in the chat, and Li says when JD turns it on is when Tim Anderson tells him to hurry up when carrying in his bags. No, I even if Josh Johnson's straight up trash, I'm taking his attitude over Tim Anderson. Sorry, I'm always supporting a player of mine in that type of situation. Tim Anderson's a fucking pussy. Li keeps going on about Donaldson when Glaber has had the worst second half. If you take a look at the numbers, Donaldson's had like, I would say maybe above 250 batting average, while Glaber's had like in the ones. We'll do
the last 15 games.
I'll pull it up. So last 15, 211 for Donaldson. Last 7, 259. Glaber Torres, Goober Torres, 180 in the last 15, 200 in the last 7. So I don't know. I'm just Jeter GM and Posada manager, problem solved.
No.
Jeter would do a lot of dancing if he actually got the GM job because he hates Cashman's guts. He hates Cashman's guts. Let me ask you a question. Did you watch the Jeter series, like the full thing?
No, I didn't watch the full series. I watched like the first 4 or 5 episodes, I think.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try to go through some comments in chat. Luke, if you want to get our next segment ready.
All right.
Even though we're kind of just scrambling a little bit. Pete says George Steinbrenner has to come back from the dead. This would not happen with him, and he would have cut a check for, I guess he said, many players. Yeah, no,
Right.
that's right. I see the argument in the chat, and I'm gonna put it now. You guys can keep arguing in the chat, but I'm gonna put it's for me a stop right now. In terms of the postseason, in terms of the second half, let's start with that. Donaldson has had a better second half.
Yeah.
And Glaber's had a better season, but that doesn't excuse both of them playing like trash for right now. You can blame Brian Cashman.
I think you know what? I'm going to give my opinion. I think Donaldson turns it on one last time for his career.
Okay. Joe says Glaber is clogging the infield and his baseball IQ is terrible. He isn't meant to be on this roster. Josh Donaldson has baseball IQ. He's just not good. He's not good at it.
36 years old, too.
Glaber Torres, he's good when he wants to be, and he's a head case, and he doesn't have the baseball IQ. It's just that. Like, I know, obviously, LI was making some comments about, a couple of weeks ago with Trade DJ. I would not do that right now. Shout outs to Matt Riley in the chat. What's going on, Matt? Jeter as the GM would be great. Jorge would be a perfect bench coach because of his fiery attitude. Yep, we all know 2003 ALCS and all the fights that happened or whatever. Yankees for Donaldson, 5 years too late.
Exactly.
I agree. Shout outs to Pete's fiance, Jaira, in the chat. What is going on, Jaira? Keep putting in your questions, guys, as we go along. We're going to answer them, unlike these other people who think they're above everybody.
We're not, let's just say this. We're not one of those people who only answer super chats.
Yeah. Gumball 3D says, funny thing is, Hal wasn't supposed to succeed George. Steve Swindle was the heir.
Whoops.
Well, how did that necessarily work, Gumball? Because I know Steve Swindle, isn't that like, wasn't his wife or wasn't his daughter's
George,
name?
I think that's Steinbrenner's daughter's husband, so it would be his son-in-law.
Maybe George knew something we didn't. It's a damn shame because I think maybe if
it would be
involved. Maybe if Hank would have gotten involved and rest his soul. Maybe if Hank would have gotten involved, they said he was a lot like George.
Yeah, so I'm reading this. In 2005, Jennifer married Steve Swindle. Obviously, that would be George's son-in-law, who became a general partner in the Yankees, who was named George's heir as chairman of the Yankees in 2005. So I guess maybe power struggle.
What, did he just disappear or something?
Nobody knows.
Luca, if you want to go into our next segment here.
So we rented on IKF. Let me ask you this. I think that was related to Joe's question, but I think we have to ask a question of our own. Who steps in Carpenter's place?
Who steps in Carpenter's place?
Yeah.
Nick has a question. I'll get to your question. Well, Richie, he's the president. Randy Levine's the president of baseball operations, I think, right? Is that his
president
role?
Of the team?
President
I don't know what he does.
Nick S., do you see the Yankees going far in the playoffs? They'll get past the AL division series. They will lose in the CS again. If the Astros make it there, they will lose in the CS again. So
I'll be honest, I'm not even confident they could beat the Mariners.
After the Mariners, what they've shown, if they have a 1 or 2 seed, they will make the ALCS with a healthy roster. And I'm tired of this whole shit that we in the struggle we've seen. Oh, well, Rizzo and Stanton are in the lineup. So when they're in the lineup, they're also supposed to win. Yes, we know that. But what, the other players don't exist? We can't be looking for Stanton, Rizzo, and Judge to carry the team all the time. This is, once again, the redundant point of what we expected coming into the season. And now they add Benintendi. They rest him. Same fucking lineup. And then Higgy, who, yes, he did hit a 2-run homer today, raw spaghetti, hashtag. He shouldn't be in the lineup. He shouldn't be. Pitchers do better, and it's not a knock necessarily on the way Cortez did, because Cortez pitched well today. Nesty Nestor pitched well today.
Yeah.
But Higgy should not be getting as much time.
Yeah, he sucks. He's awful.
So Li says if we play the Mariners in the ALDS, no. If we play the Twins in the ALDS, yeah.
Yeah, the Twins
Mariners have
are.
I think the Mariners have a better team than the Twins, my opinion.
So there's that.
What was the question you asked me before?
I said who steps up in Carpenter's place in October, or it could be now.
Okay, so you would eventually have Stanton back. Imagine if Joey Gallo was still here. I would have a heart attack if Joey Gallo was still here. What is up, Jeff?
What's going on, man?
Jeff? A supporter of mine for a while. Came when we were doing the finals.
Jeff says, "Is this your new channel, guys? Not sure who will replace Carp. Let's buckle up, Yank. Let's buck up, Yanks. Not sure why the Yankees traded the lefty arm."
Well, to be fair, Jeff, we've been a part of this network since January. So I'm active on here, but I'm not necessarily a administrator. Obviously, I have more control on my channel, but that doesn't mean anything towards Pete and NYY News. It's a family over here. So
we work both. We work.
Yeah,
both.
we work both. With that being said, so you got Stan coming back in that. Okay, so you have that, right? Damn, I'm trying to think in my head. So you have the two catchers. Who let me ask yourself that question, Luca. Who would step up in Carpenter's role?
All right,
would it be the same roster we have right now?
Let's round it. Yeah, let's round out the lineup, okay? I'm going to do my ideal lineup. You have DJ, you have Benintendi, you have Judge. So you cover second base, you cover
No, Luca. No, Luca. No. Benintendi would be hitting ninth.
No. I said my lineup, my personal lineup.
All right.
So LeMahieu, it would be first, then Benintendi, then Judge, then it would be Rizzo, then it'd be Stan. So those are your five hitters: Stan DH, Rizzo first base, LeMahieu, I guess you could put at second base. Well, LeMahieu's best at second base, should I say? So you have that. Your first five is locked down. Then I'd go Gleyber Torres, Jose Trevino, Aaron Hicks, IKF. So look through that lineup. Tell me who succeeds. Wait, did I miss somebody? I think I did.
Did you?
I just didn't put Donaldson in. So I got to rethink that because I got to think of what normally the Yankees do because you want LeMahieu obviously in his best position. And right now they're switching around between first base, second base, whatever position. So unless you do unless somehow, some way, the Yankees put Stan in the outfield, which I'm confident they're not going to do.
After the injury, definitely. Joe says, listen, Twins, no one in this roster will step up for Carp because Carp was that guy. If they called up Peraza, I'd call him to be the step-up guy, but we don't call up kids. That's absolutely correct. Pete says 4 likes away from 50. Put some respect on the Twins' name. Yeah. Any updates on Stan's return? That's a good question.
We're going to look that up.
We need Donaldson to be Donaldson if we're going to replace Carp. What he did for us? If he could be Josh Donaldson to the playoffs, and that's asking a lot, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Let's take a look at his playoffs the last few years. So, no. Advanced batting, not what I'm looking for. Postseason. So it's been a little bit. 2019, 158. 2018, 091. 2016, 333. For that, 538. So he was red hot in his prime in the playoffs. That's not where he is anymore. So we would be asking a lot, and I would want him to be. Oh, Nate talks football. What's going on, my man?
What's going on, Nate?
So when are the Yankees going to be good again, Alex? When they call up the kids, which I don't know.
It's never.
Never if we're up, talking about the way we expect them to be. Playoff baseball is awesome. I don't like to watch regular season games. Well, I know obviously people are very weird about this narrative with the Yankees, but the regular season does, but it doesn't matter. You can flip it both ways because winning and some of that stuff, shout outs to MH. What is going on, man?
What's going on, MH?
some of the stuff in the regular season in terms of the way the guys are hitting, that could possibly carry into the postseason, whatever. But it's a weird narrative. And I remember, I don't know if Matt's still in here. Matt Riley, of course. What was I going to say? Yeah, he is still in here because I just looked it up on the YouTube thing. I was at FanFest with you, with Sean, with a couple other people, and we actually got into a debate because Matt's brother actually likes the Donaldson move when he was apparently
was it Patrick or Billy?
I think it was Patrick. Basically, he's like, well, Donaldson's still good for power. Donaldson is still good for defense. I'm like, dude, no. Gio Urshela was better. He was a contact guy. Come on, man. But I guess he'll stay on that train until I guess something fails. Matt will probably be the one to let us know about that. Well, damn it, Alex, get it. Cashman on the phone and get it done for fuck's sake. Take care of business. I wish I had those powers. I mean, I kind of took the batteries out of this phone so it wouldn't bother me because if I misplace it, I forget to put it back and oh well. Matt Riley said it was both of them. I wonder what they're saying now about this losing streak, though, man. I wonder what they're saying now. I mean, I obviously know your thoughts because we think alike. Hey, Twins, Braves top prospect just called up after being in Double-A for just a little bit, just homered already.
Nice. That's what it's supposed to be.
And we've seen this across the MLB. A lot of prospects get called up from Double-A because Triple-A is basically journeyman minor leaguers and journeyman veterans, like Derek Dietrich before he got suspended, Triple-A. There was tons of other players. So sometimes, and good organizations, functional organizations, will let their guys be in Double-A because it's more competitive, it's more developmental, and then they'll rise to the big leagues. But
right.
I don't think they're going to do that with Volpe. Volpe, in my opinion, I don't know what his stats look like. If you want to take a look at them
in Double-A,
right now,
right.
I think he's going to get to Triple-A by the end of the year, but it's not going to do much of anything. So he'll start there next year. They don't care because they bring up that they're 71-40. Yeah, the Astros just passed us, the Mets have passed us, and the Dodgers have passed us.
So Volpe this year is hitting .250 with a .352 on base percentage, 16 home runs, 53 RBIs, 38 stolen bases.
And the problem is that you have a little bit of a not quarterback controversy. Jesus Christ, I'm thinking Giants, and we don't even play till tomorrow. But you have a little clogging controversy because you got Oswaldo Cabrera, you got Oswald Peraza, you got, if you could bring Volpe up, I think he's good enough to go to Triple-A, at least in my opinion.
Right.
But MH says, I mean, Atlanta isn't hesitant about bringing up their prospects for lightning in a bottle. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Dennis says this team isn't winning the World Series, so would you rather miss the playoffs altogether or make it and lose to the fucking Astros again? Oh. Wow.
Thank you, Dennis, because at least you're one of the fans. Well, I think everybody in here in the chat knows our fate eventually. But
would I rather,
if we miss the playoffs, that'd be I'm going to say lose to the Astros, because if we completely miss the playoffs, that'd be an ultimate collapse.
I would rant every single day until baseball season comes up again. I don't care. I would make a rant video. Day 30, the Yankees didn't make the playoffs, and here is why. That would be that. I'm dead serious. I would do that, but obviously I don't think that's, to be fair, Glaber was gone. Marlins backed out and wanted more. Yeah, no, I would have traded him to the Marlins for Pablo Lopez, another starter.
Let that happen in the winter.
Yeah. So I see a little bit more of this argument. I'm kind of enticed, not going to lie. Joe's like, I'll laugh at you, Li, when Gleyber Torres is a Marlin in the offseason. Now, Luca, do you think they'll actually deal Gleyber Torres in the offseason?
Yes.
For like a Pablo Lopez?
Yes. Think about it. Severino has an option It's not a player option; it's a team option.
Tyon's a free agent, which is weird because they could have traded Tyon and he had 1 year left.
Not really 1 year left, but this year's the final the contract. So Tyon's gone. Severino could be gone. Then you have Montas, you have Garrett Cole, and Nestor. That's it. That's 3 starters. You need to fill 2 holes. Lopez, I think, just fits right in. Then you can fill the other hole with Schmidt.
Yeah. So Joe just said that why would we give up somebody we just acquired? I would do it, but it wouldn't make sense to give up Donaldson and throw his ass in the fire when you're not giving up IKF or Torres or whatever. Nate says, I mean, Torres and his second base shortstop plugs up the infield.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yankees have a ton of middle infield. Realistically, your future could be, if we get rid of LeMahieu, Peraza at second, Cabrera at short, and Volpe at third.
Right. And,
realistically, I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to happen.
Here's the thing, though. Here's another question to pose. If they don't like Peraza and they're kind of torturing him in the minor leagues, what are they going to do with Oswald Cabrera? Anyone ever think of that?
Nope.
Right. Herman's been better. Yeah. No, there's no doubt about that. I don't know what trade value, to be honest, he would have. You'd probably get like a Justin Lang type prospect in return.
Yeah.
Like from the Padres or anyone else that would try to take a flyer on him. Nate says, I'm going to be 100% honest. When I jump off the tab, I can't tell who's talking. Well, I'm Alex, and hold on, I'm going to take a look at Zoom.
It's voice differential.
Yeah, voice differential kind of. Luca's wearing the thing, the tank top Luca.
Yes.
Nate says, I am a believer in roster building efficiency. And one of the problems I've had with the Yankees for years is now how inefficient they are with the construction of the infield. Yeah, outside of DJ, and even those problems with that, they've been so weird about that. Donaldson at third. They gave up on Andujar, yes, for Urshela, and that ended up turning out. But Donaldson, it's a mess. It's a mess. And, Torres, yeah, they'll purposely, in my opinion, they'll look at the upside and say, okay, well, he was better defensively at second base. And he, even though he's still a head case and he's not a smart baseball player, right. That's the problem. I don't know. And maybe Pete knows, maybe somebody else knows. Was he, when he came up to the big leagues, did people say, in terms of scouts, did they say, look, he's not a smart baseball player. He's good at it. He can play second base, but, he's not a high IQ baseball player. Did they do that type of scouting?
I don't know. I don't know if the Yankees have that advanced scouting.
Well, they need to fucking jump on it then. They need to jump on it. Yeah, that top prospect is Vaughn Grissom. Any relation to Marquise Grissom? I'm going to take a look. Vaughn Grissom. Of course, it's not giving me a proper page. Let's look up Marquise Grissom, who was a Brave in his time. 5 children. Yeah, no, not related to Marquise Grissom. So there is that. I always heard he was elite. LOL. He was much known as an elite player. Didn't hear about much about the mine.
There you go.
Where's Judge playing next season if he leaves? Do the Yankees finish 4th or 5th?
Giants or Mets or Dodgers. That's my thing.
I'm going to say 3rd or 4th rather than 5th. I don't think they're going to be that bad.
Since the Dodgers missed out on Soto, I think they're going to try to kill it for Judge.
Right. There's that. Well, I mean, they technically settled for Joey Gallo.
He's also to note,
Anthony Rizzo he's got a team option, or is it his option?
Player option?
Okay, so he could actually go get more money then.
Yeah.
And because those two are very close, I've said it millions of times. Those two are very close. So if Judge leaves for San Francisco, Rizzo's going to be out the door. And let's be honest, people, Matt Carpenter isn't going to be the player he is this year, next year. He's what, 36, 37?
I just want to get you to listen to this. Listen to some of the youngest prospects who are in baseball right now. Julio Rodriguez, he is 21 years old. Riley Green, he's 21. Bobby Witt, 22. Vaughn Grissom, 21. Wander Franco, 21. Michael Harris III, 21. Luis Garcia, 22. Nolan Gorman, 22. Alex Thomas, 22. Lennon Sosa, 22. Now, how old is Anthony Volpe is the question. Volpe is
Give a shit
he's exactly among those ages. Among 21 or 22. He's actually 21, if you check the math. Which means the Yankees they're playing their prospects at 24, 25 years old. They're not catching up to the rest of Major League Baseball and bring up these guys at a bright young age.
How old was Glaber when he got brought up?
I'll do the math. I swore he was like 18, maybe. Again,
he wasn't 18 when he got called up.
Glaber was 22. 21 exactly, actually.
My point exactly. Estevan right now, 24 years old. Oswald Peraza is 21.
They should be calling, again, the trend here is all these top prospects are 21, 22 right before their primes.
Right.
Yankees don't do that. They're not, their philosophy is lost. They've lost the plot.
Yeah. Nate says, so where does this franchise stand without Judge? Honestly, it's felt for years like we just have no direction.
I will lose my shit if Judge is not a Yankee next year.
I think everybody, but Luca, how will the beat play it?
Oh, they'll spin it. They'll be like, oh, they can get Juan Soto in a year if they haven't if the Padres didn't extend him.
Yeah, if they don't extend him and he's a free agent, we're not getting him. We're not. No, not happening.
They could get Juan Soto in about a year. Then ideally, first of all, the outfield would be like bliss. You have Stanton, who they're not going to play in the outfield. You have Aaron Hicks, and that's it. Because Benintendi and Judge are free agents. Bader too. Bader's a
free agent.
No, Bader's a free agent next year.
So this coming year.
Not this coming year, but next year. He has one more year on the contract.
And then so you're starting Hicks. So you would need another outfielder then.
Exactly.
I don't think there's any good ones in free agency, to my knowledge, but
I
still can't replace Aaron Judge.
I don't want to prep for that situation. I really don't. But we might just have to, because what is Aaron Judge doing?
He's speaking in the past tense.
And
Nate, I just saw your tweet on Twitter. We are actually fraternal. I know you'll be shocked by that, but it's yeah, that's the case. Kamikaze Crush says, good questions about next year. Michael K said, Yankee fans would never understand. We would never stand for a young team that struggles. I disagree. Wonder how other people feel. Well, I think he's yes and no. Yes and no, I will say about that quote, because if you bring up Peraza, let's just say this year, a good quote, or maybe he's talking about next year, but if you bring up Peraza this year, people will understand. Sometimes he will struggle, but it's for the long term.
Yeah, he's going to be your long-term.
It's not IKF where he's got, 2 years. He's a bullshit shortstop. It's not that transitioned crap that Peraza, if Florial, and it's weird why I say because, have 50-50, because I've seen people like Joe Randazzo on Twitter. We just downgraded because Carpenter and Andujar. I'm like, Andujar's finally getting his chance because this fucking organization decided to say, okay, we're going to let you suffer in the minor leagues. And obviously with inconsistent at-bats, you're not going to get the playing time and you're not going to get the results. So what did you expect almost? And then we're still trying to be sold this bullshit that Aaron Hicks is a good player and IKF is a good shortstop.
Right.
So that's how I would say 50-50, Kamikaze Crush. Where was the Judge quote when he was talking in the past tense? Ball till we fall, 82 says.
Oh boy, there's quite a few.
It was in that kid interview, right? When Marley Rivera brought up that Jacob shit.
Oh God, let me look. I gotta look it up.
Mm-hmm.
I see this popping up. So it was around July, I think he was doing it. Aaron, let me look up Aaron because you can find everything on Twitter.
Yeah. Danny said, Denise, I think, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. What is it going to take to get Crashman the fuck out of here in Baboon? Judge Living could get the ball rolling. Cashman's not going anywhere. I think we've all accepted that as a reality. Guys, let's get to 70 likes.
Yeah,
Let's get to
please.
70 likes. We got 60, which is probably more than any podcast we've done on here. Keep asking the questions, of course. Yeah, Cashman's got one this year on his contract, and that's it. So it's probably about a 90 Denny. Okay. 95% chance that Cashman stays because he's a Yankee boy. And Boone, well, he's gonna get another, he's not going to get fired within this tenure. He's going to have his, the Yankee way is kind of like the Pittsburgh way, where you're not necessarily fired, but you end your contract or you resign. That's pretty much that. Like, kind of way Steinbrenner resigned and all these other things. Should have never fired Girardi. To me, it's weird with that because yes, at the same time, I don't know how far into this part of baseball he would have gotten into. Like, how far would he have gone into the 2022 season with the same formula he was working? Would he adjust? Do you like working with Pete? Of course, man. Family. Everybody is in a part of the NY News TV. Great that they took me in like family. Buck should have been the manager of the Yankees or David Cohn. David Cohn is more analytics leaning, so I could understand, why many would oppose and maybe why some wouldn't oppose. So,
all right, here we go.
See, here we go.
Been here. This was July 28th. Been here for 6 years now. Came through the system. We've got a deep connection through highs and lows. I'll definitely enjoy our time here. If it ends this year, it doesn't. I'll soak up memory just like tonight.
Yeah, that is the past tense. That is the past tense. Luca, if you want to go, Hensley Mullins was my guy to succeed Girardi. Yeah, I remember he was also talked about. What was it this offseason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that name. What's the name of the bench coach of the Yankees? Carlos Mendoza.
Yes, he was also a candidate.
Yeah, Jared says I want a good old-fashioned manager, like a Buck Showalter. Like I could see, but I don't know. So some of this I can balance to the front office and the manager. Sometimes it's just the manager. It's weird. It's weird, man. Luke, if you want to go into our next subject.
So, do you want to go over the Cardinals series, the Mariners series?
By the way, the Yes Network is bringing back Beltron and Maben for next year.
Yep, that's another year of muting broadcast. They both suck at their job.
Well, everybody listen to game season because that
game season's coming back next year. There's no question about it.
Yeah, we're not going away, people. How does a manager that brought a team that had no expectations, one game from World Series against a team that was cheating, look burnt out? Oh boy, so yeah. That doesn't sound like the captain of the Yankees. Yeah, at times I've been pissed with Judge. Like when he didn't stick up. The problem when I was talking about Gleyber Torres is this team's a little bit soft. I'm going to say that. By the way, get the likes up. Why should I say this team is soft? Because Miles Straw, they didn't stick up for the fans. They didn't say anything. Aaron Boone was the only one that said something. And I forget what he said, but he kind of stood up for the fans. Miles Straw was an asshole. Nobody, said anything to him. There was the Tim Anderson thing where Judge kind of called out Josh Donaldson and Donaldson wasn't a fan of it. So, there are times when I'm pissed at him, but they should bring him back despite some of the bad shit he's done.
Including the 2018 Red Sox thing where he played New York outside the Red Sox.
Yeah,
clubhouse.
I mean, he was trying to be like that shit talking feisty dude. And to be honest, I think a lot of I don't mean to knock on the. Yeah, I know, but I don't mean to knock on the guy, but I feel like people see him as a big bear. As a big bear rather than a tiger.
Okay, that's different. Haven't heard that one.
Well, it's just my opinion. But you were saying about the series?
Which series do you want to go into? This series or the Cardinals series?
Whichever one you want to go into first.
All right, so let's review this past series. So the Yankees took on the Mariners, and they lost 2 out of 3, just like the last time. First game, Yankees went out for power. Jameson Taillon had a very good outing for the most part. Actually pitched really well. Let me pull up the stat line real quick. The Yankees won by a total of 9-4. Just get up the stat line real quick.
You want to know a stat?
Bring up a stat.
Yankees were 4 for 23 with runners in scoring position.
I saw that.
So
if we started the series on August 8th, Monday, Yankees won. Taillon gets his 11th win of the season as he defeated Logan Gilbert. The Yankees scored 9 runs. Obviously, Aaron Judge with a big home run, Josh Donaldson as well. Taillon striking out 6 over 7 innings with 3 runs, 3 walks, and 2 homers. Logan Gilbert, 7 runs, 10 hits in 4 innings. So the Yankees really rattled him. And that's what happened. Mariners were 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Yankees 4 for 10. And bullpen did its job. Chapman's been good of late. Isn't that a rare thing we can say?
He's been good as of late. There's no doubt about it. I want to get to 2 things before you go on. WWS says, anyone else wish they got Castillo while watching him pitch yesterday? I've been wanting Castillo ever since the name was brought up. Okay, this year. But yeah, he was sharp yesterday. We could definitely have that in the rotation. And Cole pitched well yesterday, but with that being said, just overall being said, I'm just unhappy that we don't have him. Italian Stallion says he's going to leave and talk shit about the Yankees. You watch. It depends what he says, honestly, because if he says something truthful, I'll be like, okay, that's true. But if he says some bullshit, I'll be like, no, dude, no. Because I'm not gonna be like these people. Trust me, there are gonna be a lot of people once he leaves, turn on him and say,
oh yeah, I'm not.
Well, this, that, and the other thing, always injury prone. Like that's what they're gonna sell to him.
That's what the media will sell to all of you. Don't believe it.
It's your job to not believe it. It's
a matter of opinion. So I said I wanted Castillo badly. I would have given up Volpe for him if it came down to the wire, but the Yankees don't want to do that. I'm good with Montas. I like Montas, but I'm tired of getting 2 options instead of 1 option. Castillo has that dog in him. To me, he is that big game pitcher.
Yeah. Shouts to Rod Thompson. He says Glaber is not a winning player, neither is Hicks.
Nope.
Hicks, I think he has baseball IQ. Glaber doesn't. Hicks just sucks. Matt Stolk says they need to shit on the resting of the players. That has been going on ever since.
It is so unorthodox.
And that hasn't changed, which is something I'm terribly pissed about. Is that ever since, and even with the change in things this year, they're still resting players. And apparently, Aaron Boone said that hot streaks aren't a thing. That's like Joe Judge, who literally said momentum isn't a thing. That's bullshit. Momentum is absolutely a thing. What makes you think that fucking, okay, what's a losing streak then? Is that not bad momentum?
Right.
But you want to go on to the rest of the shit?
Then we had the 13-inning phenomenon. 1-0, the Mariners win in an absolute pitching duel for the ages. The Yankees, we could say, oh, well, they didn't get the situation. Well, it was a great game. The Mariners just toughened it out. No. 10th, 11th, and 12th innings were all marred by base running mistakes. And I remember exactly all 3 of them. I don't remember them in chronological order, though. Andrew Benintendi getting picked off at second base. Then eventually I think in that same play, the runner took off from first, which led to a double play. Benintendi is picked off. I think it was Paul Sewald on the mound. Runner tries to advance second. He's out. That's a double play, which could considerably ruins the inning. Then you had Miguel Andujar basically beaten out on a double play. It was a line out to the second baseman, making a great play, but Andujar is way too far off the bag to get back to second. He's out. 2 outs again. And then you have the infamous IKF double play. I think he ground out to short or third base? No, he grounded out to the pitcher, I want to say. And
Yeah. Caught in a rundown.
they tagged the
Whoever, I
runner
think it
out.
was Trevi.
It might have been Trevi. I think it was Trevi. So that happened. They tag out Trevi. IKF is going for second, and he's out by a mile. So you've got that. So
I just don't understand how
he has no
some
baseball IQ.
fucking idiot.
And then Aaron Boone comes and says after the game, "Oh well, he's trying to go for second base." No shit. We all saw that.
Can't understand how Brendan Cootie. I literally added him after that, and I want to get blocked so bad by him. And this other idiot from Yanks Go Yard who tweeted, made an article a couple months ago. Oh, well, Yankee fans are overreacting to IKF. I should have literally added next time he makes a bad play, I'm gonna add the guy. That's serious.
All right, do it.
I'm gonna add him. WWS says Volpe better be 10 times better than Jeter because the amount of people they passed up because of him. This is damn right. Damn right. Li says, hey, Twins, you want me to ask some Browns fans if they have some bags left over if we blow the division? That would be nice. That would be nice. Italian Stallion says these are analytic nerds that took over this team. Yup. Mike Fishman, all those idiots.
Somebody posted Vaughn Grissom, 21. Anthony Volpe, 21. Grissom drafted in 2019. Volpe drafted in 2019. Grissom, Braves #1 prospect. Yankees #1 prospect. Volpe. Grissom, 22 games above single A. Volpe, 92 games above high A. Actually, both high A for both Volpe and Grissom. Grissom, debut August 22. Volpe, debut September 2024.
Maybe even 2025. Who the hell knows?
So, and Bobby Malone tweeted, not one reporter has asked Cashmouth service time manipulation.
Not one. He said not one reporter?
Not one reporter has asked about service time manipulation.
No, because people still go to these people for shit. They still go to people for this shit. They still go to the beat media and these other.
They're most worthless people.
companies.
They're the most worthless people on the planet. I could do a job better than them.
I just don't understand why don't.
It's like they're all. It's like if you compare, they're like the fucking crew from Scooby Doo. They could do a fucking better job.
Unbelievable. If Volpe is so great, why haven't they called him up yet? Nats think he's a bust. That's why they wouldn't include him in trade for Soto. What does that tell you? Well, to be fair, and I'm not trying to defend the prospect hugging at all, but the Nationals, they got shit return for Juan Soto, including Luke Voigt. So what does that tell you? A. B, it very well could be that he's a bust. That's why
we won't know.
Proven talent like Trey Turner and all these other cats, Carlos Correa opts out.
Xander Bogaerts.
All those guys, better options than going to Volpe. You could trade Volpe for somebody else. They would have included Volpe in an Ohtani trade. Now, would that have been right for us? Who knows? That would have just been another guy to pile on, and who knows what would have happened. Not worried about the division as of yet. No one is stepping up while the Yankees play sub 500 ball. That's absolutely correct.
Alex, remember, I'm sorry to interrupt. Remember how IKF last night was trying to avoid getting tagged? He went out of the baseline. He went like this.
What did he do?
He was like a flying squirrel. Literally a flying squirrel coming off the base.
No, this was literally him last night. This was literally him.
No, he didn't. Except he didn't fall down.
I know that. I wanted to over exaggerate on purpose.
So you ready to go into?
He looked like one of them. One of them wacky flying inflatable tube men.
Right. That's right from Family Guy. But anyway, getting into the third game, it was a shutout for most of the game. Good pitchers duel between Nestor Cortez and Robbie Ray. Unfortunately, the first run comes when Nestor Cortez gives up a home run to. Was it Haggerty, right?
Yeah.
It was Sam Haggerty of the Seattle Mariners. Screw him for using the Godfather music as the walk-up. You have no right to do that. You're not Italian. So that happens. The Yankees have a 3-run 7th inning with a 2-run bomb by IKF. Alex, you called it raw spaghetti. Did you not?
I did.
Okay. And then Aaron Judge, 2 batters later, hits a home run, his 45th of the season. And bottom of the 7th, we go. The Yankees get an I'm sorry, not the Yankees. The Mariners get an RBI single from Mitch Haniger to left field. Carlos Santana comes up a few batters later, hits a 2-run bomb off of Albert Abreu when it should be Ron Marinaccio up. Albert Abreu sucks. I mean, here's the thing. This is kind of common sense. I know Albert Abreu was good to start and then he's shit, which kind of should be noticed. When you trade for a certain player, the Yankees traded for Trevino, right? And they gave up these prospects like Abreu, this guy, and this guy. Shouldn't it be like kind of a warning sign that he's cut almost immediately after?
Yeah.
But the Yankees think they can fix everybody. Everybody's a reclamation project to them.
The fact
Just
that
like Shane Green.
Jonathan Loaizaga has been so terrible this year is just an atrocity.
It's a travesty. It's bollocks.
Okay, bullocks. Just also something as well. Like people are talking about, well, Abreu's been good, all this stuff. No, last 7, 1-2 with a 5.87 ERA.
You talk about Abreu, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Loaizaga's ERA a 6. I'm sorry to like go off topic, but Loaizaga's ERA a 6.66.
Before he came in yesterday, and they still put him in.
You just know we were fucked.
And I'm not even just gonna blame it on him. Once again, it goes back to the offense was so trash. Base running errors,
base running IQ.
It's just this whole streak. They've looked like fucking 2021.
I'm sorry, Andrew Benintendi looking at strike 3 pitches. Him swinging at bad pitches. Andujar swinging at bad pitches. Liberatore is dumb at the plate, making dumb at bats, popping the ball up on pitches right down the middle. It's all in the heads.
It's unbelievable. It really is. Hirsch says lasagna is baked. No, he's fucking burnt. If you could burn lasagna, yeah, overcooked by the Yankees. And then we can't even trust Clay. Like Clay Holmes had a good night yesterday, but can't even trust him now, which is an atrocity, travesty. Any other words you can think of? Luca, if you want to keep going.
Yeah, that was pretty much the series for the Yankees. They will face Boston on Friday for a 3-game set at Fenway. You know what? It's going to get me nervous because Montas is going to be pitching against the Red Sox, and he does not have the greatest statistics on the road away from the Coliseum.
I'm not ready for that. I really.
So it's going to be. Who's it going to be this series?
You want me to look up the probables?
I know Montas. I know it's going to be Herman
Evaldi on Friday. Montas and Cutter Crawford, and then Tyan and Rich Hill.
Rich Hill.
Watch him throw a gem.
Oh, he would against this lineup.
And to make it even worse, after them, you got Tampa Bay at home, which they've done well against, but who knows? Tampa Bay at home. Then you got Toronto at home for our birthday series. And then you have the Mets.
That's going to be
you have how many straight home games? Yes, but with the way this team's playing, who the fuck knows?
I'm not looking for again. This August stretch was brutal to begin with, and the Yankees just
right. But they made that deadline acquisitions, and they haven't done squat.
They made it worse.
Right. Strongwood says call up anybody that can help. Yeah.
Anybody
Second
named
seed
Florial
faces AL Central winner, which would be good for the Yankees. Thanks for that insight, Junior.
Unfortunately, that would work well if that would work well once we face the Twins and we beat.
So basically, I guess in that case, maybe let's just say not the Astros, the Blue Jays, the Rays win the wild card. They will face the Astros if they win the wild card, and then we would face the Twins, and then obviously go after that stuff. So
I think this whole expanded playoff thing is bullshit.
3-game wild card.
Just play one.
I agree.
It's all about fucking money.
Well, I mean, that's what it was always about, you know. Shout outs to 76ers fan 2000. He just subscribed.
Appreciate it.
We're Knicks fans, but we welcome the subscription as always. Luca, if you want to add anything.
If you want to go slow dive in the Cardinal series, I think we could just end off on that.
Yeah.
All right. So game one, the Yankees blow it with the bullpen. Clay Holmes allows the game-winning double to Paul DeJong, who by the way is hitting below 200. It still is. Two-run double. Yankees don't score in the ninth. That's it. Game two, Jordan Montgomery shuts out the Yankees with 5 innings of game manager ball, 1 strikeout, 1 walk, and 2 hits. Yankees got him in trouble in the first, and they did squat with it. And he was solid for the rest of the game. So you have that. Herman, did his thing. Again, I can't fault for Herman. I can't fault him for just giving up 1 run. The offense needs to support him. And then on Sunday, the Yankees and Cardinals displayed a very classic shootout, but the bullpen becomes another brutal culprit of another brutal loss.
Was that Abreu too?
It was Abreu. It was Abreu.
So he's had what, 2? No, actually, no, that wasn't his loss, right?
It was his loss.
So he had 2 losses then.
Yeah. Abreu today and Abreu in the final series.
In the last game of both series.
Yeah. It doesn't. And then it was 8-9, bottom of the 8th. Scott Efros gives up a 3-run shot to Paul DeJong, which further extends the lead. And LeMahieu homers in the 9th, which would have tied the game if Efros does not give up the homer. Yankees squander any kind of lead, any type of situation, and they get swept by the Cardinals for the first time in I'd say, ever. And I think also first time they're swept in a 3-game series this year.
Gio says we're not even confident they could beat the Twins. I think they could beat the Twins. Seattle, Toronto. I'll wait and see about that.
LI has a super chat.
LI says, I just realized this Twins, Hal Steinmeier is basically John Mara with staying with shit GMs, Dave Gettleman, Jerry Reese, Brian Cashman. Yes and no. Yeah, I guess the modernization of the franchise in some ways definitely hits home with that in terms of both teams. So I guess I could agree, just not as bad, but standards are different. At least I hold the Giants to a different standard than I do the Yankees because they have less championships. They've been terrible the last few years. So, it's that.
Right.
Luca, final thoughts.
The Yankees are a pile of shit right now. And if they don't get their shit together, they will be shit. They will be not in the World Series. And even if the Yankees get on their horse and they get their shit together, I just don't think the way the Yankees utilize personnel, they're going to be successful. I'm sorry. And the way the front office handle things, I think it's the front office is holding the Yankees back, whether it's the analytics department or Brian Cashman.
Agreed. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Turn on that notification bell. Become a member. You get a lot of good shit there. Discord, emotes, what is it? Yankee, what's that? Yankee hot takes, or is it something like that? Quick takes. That's another thing. There's something else I'm forgetting. The prospect thing. So
yeah,
a lot of good stuff. We appreciate you guys for coming out. Hopefully the Yankees are good the next time we talk, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Before it hits the front page, NY